Hey everybody, it's Josie. Welcome back to Cedar Creek Homestead. I hope you all are having a wonderful day. It is really, really cold here. We had a few days of beautiful fall weather. The leaves started turning, and then it turned off raining and rained last weekend. A cold rain, and then the cold weather come in. We had our first hard freeze this morning. We're supposed to have another one overnight tonight and maybe the next night. I think it was down to 24 this morning here. And then by the weekend, it's supposed to be back up into the 70s with overnight temperatures in the 40s and 50s. And so we're bouncing back and forth now. Had just that little glimmer of fall, and then the winter set in. But hopefully fall weather will return to us. It's supposed to warm up some. And then we'll see how many warm days we have between now and, sure enough, winter. Because of the cold weather coming in and the rain that we had a few days before that, we had to make lots of preparations, and there was lots of things that we had to do here on our homestead, and I'm sure that a lot of you had to do some of that as well, making preparations with the animals and getting hay, straw for the piggies. We put straw in their housing, and they've made them some little nests in there, and they're growing like weeds. They are in a smaller area as of right now, and they're pretty small little pigs that we got, and so we're letting them grow out just a little bit, and we have all the supplies, and Blade is building bigger pens for them so that the two little girls that we have will have their own enclosure, and the little Duroc piggy that we have, his name is Wilbur. He will have his own pen, and then the two little guys that are going to eventually go to freezer camp, they will have an enclosure as well. And we'll be bringing you along when we build those pens, and we've got all of the setups to make their new waterers and all of that. But right now we have them in a smaller confinement, and they're getting used to our pen setup and all of the their surroundings and being here with us on the farm. And I have fallen in love with them. That happens with just about every animal that we bring onto the farm. Dogs. If we had cats, we had kitties back in Arkansas, but around here, they don't seem to last. The coyotes get them, and other things happen to them. And so Howie couldn't be around cats with his asthma, and we just never had inside cats or anything like that. And it just, like I said, it just seems like here, I don't know if it's because we're close to the river or what it is. I know for sure we have lots of coyotes here. The little cats just seem to not last. So I'll tell you, we've been making some really heavy preparations here, and I wanted to show you some of my tomatoes. Of course, tomato season is over now. I have beautiful, beautiful tomato vines that were just loaded with blossoms, and I knew that those were not going to make it to become big, pretty tomatoes for us. That just was too late in the season after the heat subsided and we began to get some rains. Those tomato plants just took off. But I watched and watched and watched the green tomatoes that I had on there, and I have picked them. This is a few of them. These would have made wonderful, big, beautiful red tomatoes. And I can put these up, and they'll ripen. But these and all of the other green tomatoes that I have, I'm going to be making green tomato relish. It's a recipe of my grandma's, and we love it. We love it with beans. We love it with black-eyed peas, and we like to have it on the side. We like to have it, put it in the beans when we're eating a bowl of beans or whatever. And it's a really good recipe. I think I have an older video of making green tomato relish, but I thought that I'm going to be teaching Cheyenne how to make it. And so I thought if you guys wanted me to, I thought that I would make a video this week of making green tomato relish, teaching Cheyenne how to make it, and and just let you guys follow along. It's a really good recipe. It's a good way to stretch those meals out by adding more things. My granny, my mama, my aunts, they all did that by having things on the table to add to the main entree or whatever it was that we were having to make it stretch further. And this is another idea. You may have your own favorite relish or piccalilli or what chow chow, whatever that your family has. But anyway, I'm going to be making that. I know some people would love to have fried green tomatoes, but these I'm totally out. Maybe one jar left of green tomato relish, so that's what I'm going to be making. And then tomorrow, after I'll probably have to wait till noon or after when the sun comes out and dries everything off after if we do get a freeze or a frost. Now, I still have beautiful sunflowers and zinnias out in one of my flower beds, and we were enjoying those, the colors of those, and of course they're today they're done. So I will be going out and not collecting those because the seed heads weren't ready on those, but I had a bunch that were drying on the vine or on the plants, and so I will be collecting seed heads from the sunflowers and from the zinnias tomorrow. And then I'm going to try a winter sewing project, not sewing like this, but not clothes, but sewing, S-O-W-I-N-G. I'm going to be doing some winter sewing this year using gallon milk jugs and some other containers. And one of the things that I'm going to try is I have several rose Sharon bushes, and there's one in particular that I absolutely love the color of, and I would like to have it in some different areas of my farm and different flower beds. And so I'm going to be collecting the seed heads of those. The spent flower at the end of that, there's a little head, and inside that there will be little seeds that look kind of like little BBs. And I'm going to get those and see if I can successfully sow them through the winter and just see what I come up with, if I can get those to propagate. And of course, we've got our projects going with our strawberries and with the garlic. Both of those, the fields are looking good. We're looking at now some ideas on to keep deer out and to keep here in Oklahoma. And I've shared it on videos before, we have trouble with wild hogs, and I'm not 100% sure that they won't mess with the strawberries. They will be under cover. If our temperatures drop to a certain degree, then they have to be under frost blankets, and because we're planting the plugs, the strawberry plugs, and not the bare root. And so I'm not 100% sure that the hogs will bother them or the deer, either one, but we just want to make sure, be prepared just in case, because this is a new project for us with the strawberries. Not really worried about the garlic. And then we're making preparations for next year, the things that we want to plant, the new things that we want to add, the things that didn't work out so well for us. And that's, all of us need to prepare. We know all of the things that are going on in this country and around the world, and some of those things are scary. And we've talked plenty of times on this channel about, making sure that we don't live in fear, and, how to just press forward and to keep working even though it looks kind of shady and it looks kind of scary and it looks kind of iffy. How we must go on and we must prepare. And there's nowhere for any of us to sit down on the sidelines and say we quit. It is still work time. I know that, we worked all summer. All of us have worked, and we've put up and we've prepared. And you get to fall and you think, oh, okay, now we can slow down a little bit. Really and truly, there's not a place for us to say now's the time to just quit. We still have lots of projects to do. Cheyenne, most of you know, is expecting my third grandson. She's 11 weeks away from having her baby. She's 29 weeks pregnant as of yesterday. She's due about the middle of January. So in 11 weeks, think about that. In 11 weeks, it will be January, middle of January. And she told me that today. I said, Cheyenne, in 11 weeks, we will be needing to start seeds. We'll be needing to start all the things that we want to have to offer for sale next year at the farmer's market, and the things that we want to grow, all of those projects. So just in a little bit, it will be time to start for 2024. And we all know that it's going to be a busy and crazy year with being in the middle of the political season. And we know that there's wars going on in 2 parts of the world, and we hear all kinds of stuff every day. And so it's crazy and it's chaotic, and we're going into the holiday season, and a lot of us are wanting to pull our hair out and say, what are we going to do? We've got to, prepare for the holidays, and we have to, prepare our families for the future. And we need to take a breath, let ourselves calm down, and we need to ask ourselves, what are the most important things? Now, we know that we cannot change the things that are going on in the world, no matter how much we want to. We know one of the biggest things that we can do as a people is pray and trust that things are going to work out according to God's will, God's plan, if you're a Christian. The next thing that we need to do is ask ourselves, okay, I know that the holidays are coming, and we want to spend time with family and friends, and we want to fellowship with them. Yes, that's an important thing, and Thanksgiving is coming up, and a lot of people jump right over Thanksgiving into Christmas. And in fact, Cheyenne and I were shopping yesterday. We needed to go get groceries, and I needed to pick up some straw and some feeds and some different things that the animals needed. And while we were out, it was amazing that you had a whole bunch of Halloween, and you had just a little bit of Thanksgiving, and of course Christmas has hit the store shelves everywhere. Wrapping paper and gift bags and presents and trees and decorations and all of those kind of things. And I love Christmas, I really do. But we sometimes get ourselves in such a state of all of the things that are going on that we don't really see the big picture. And yes, we want to be with our family and celebrate Thanksgiving, be thankful for all of the things that the good Lord has done for us and how He has blessed us. And then with Christmas, and our desire is to do for others. But I'll tell you, in our family, we're going to scale back a little bit this year. We still do for the kids. But we're going to focus more on more need and less want. That sounds silly, I know. And the boys, they're in a place that, we really know their needs. And they want everything as littles. And we're going to really try to fill needs more than once. With them, with each other. We will probably do like we did last year with our church and cook for them. Last year we made cinnamon rolls for each of the families in the church, and we may do something like that again. We may do something different. That's just something that we know that's not too expensive, that we can give from the heart. Make baskets or cookie trays for our neighbors. Little things like that. But I know that a lot of people, especially young moms and people with families, really worry and are already feeling the fear, feeling the stress of the holiday season. They're trying to figure out how they're going to heat their homes. A lot of people are worried that it's going to be a bad winter, and fuel prices are up. Heating prices are up, being able to heat your homes. You're worried about that. You're worried about how in the world you're going to afford the holiday season. And besides the holiday season, how in the world are you even going to just afford food and all of the things that come along with it, all the things that we need to be prepared for? My family is prepared for food. We're prepared for water. Thankfully, we live in an area that there's a lot of water around. There's lakes and rivers and streams and wells, springs, and all of the different ways that we have access to water. Plus, we have means to clean our water. But I know that some of you live in states where they don't allow you to do water catchment. Maybe that you don't have a lot of rainfall. My little sister lives in Louisiana, and we were talking the other night, and she is so excited. She just her and her husband has bought some land, and her adult children are going to join them on the land, and each of them are going to have their households there. They're going to grow gardens, and my sister's getting interested in all of the different aspects of homesteading, and her daughters and her son, they're all getting excited about different parts of that. And I was talking to her about the progress there, and what she told me was because they haven't had rain, she's in the same situation that Deep South Homestead is in. She lives in Ascension Parish down in Louisiana, and they're moving to another parish. I can't remember the name of it. But because there's been no rain, the government, the municipalities, whatever they call them down there, has put a stop to all of the things that they can do out on their land. They were having to have a road put in and trees trimmed back and all of that kind of stuff. And they've actually put a stop to that. They've told my sister and her family that for now, until there's rain, until the situation changes, they can't do anything on their land. And so they're at a standstill. They actually sold their home and are living in an RV at her father-in-law's property. And so they're going to be probably going through the holiday season in their RV. And so that kind of changes some of the things up for them. And so I know that water is an issue where my sister's at, and that water is an issue probably where some of you are at. And so we all have to think about those kind of things and really turn our attention to the things that are most important. And sometimes we let ourselves get carried away with holiday preparation, and I'm by no means am I trying to be a Grinch. I love Christmas. I absolutely love it. I love gift giving. I love gift getting. I love it. I love getting little gifts. And so I'm one of you, one that likes to do those kind of things. But I know that hard decisions have to be made. Priorities have to be set into place. And we have to look at the big picture. We have to, consider our budgets. I know people that go way overboard during the holiday season, put themselves in debt, put all of these things on their credit cards and worry about it next year. But that's really, really not a wise thing to do. There's lots of things, though. For those of you that are worried because you have children, you have people that you want to gift things to. Well, I said it last year and I'm going to say it again. Now's the time to begin thinking. I know this is the last day of October, October 31st. We have all of November and a little of December to work on it. Now's the time to think about those homemade gifts and not to be ashamed to give gifts that are homemade, and not to be upset if you get something homemade from somebody. You mamas, make those little handprint things for Meemaw and Pawpaw, and little poems and You know, there's mixes that you can make in your kitchen, and there's all kinds of things that you can bake, and that you can make little trail mixes, and you can make granola, and there's little gifts that you can make your children, and you know, blocks and paper dolls and all of these kind of things. And I really want to come on here and challenge everybody in this season that we're all in, where it's crazy and chaotic. Let's take the time to think about those homemade things. Take the stress off of ourselves. Don't put ourselves in debt. Don't go out of our way to charge things on a credit card. Let's show those ones around us that we love them by doing something for them that we took our time and we took our creativity and we made. It's a challenge for all of us, but it's something that all of us can do. And we'll be surprised. Spend that money wisely and on the things that we need to do to prepare our families for the future, for the things that are going on. Over the next weeks and months, I'm going to be putting up videos maybe once a week or so of gifting ideas, things that we can do, wrapping ideas, ways that we can stretch our budget, plus putting up ideas for meals and meal preparation and different ideas that we can do to make things stretch. How we can make our meals stretch. How we can make things work for our families. You know, they've done it down through the years, and they made it just fine. And we can do the same thing. If we'll pull together, if we'll use our ingenuity, share ideas with one another. If you have ideas that you think would be good to stretch our budget, to stretch the gift giving, to stretch the ideas for the holidays, for people, for stocking stuffers, for games for the kids. Maybe you have an idea that we could do for your grown-up children or your grandchildren. Well, feel free to comment down below. And who knows, we might share one of those ideas. I've got some ideas on some gift wrap and some different things to take the pressure off of these young parents and these grandmas and grandpas and different ones that want to give to their families, but just absolutely know that they need all of those nickel and dimes to make their budgets stretch. I went grocery shopping yesterday, and I'll tell you folks that things have not changed. Prices have not went down. Prices are going up. Cans are getting smaller. I really, really wonder sometimes how people are able to make ends meet. You know, people are making pretty good money, but boy, it costs to live. And I don't want you stressing. I want you to enjoy the holiday season, celebrating Thanksgiving, being with your family, celebrating Christmas, being able just to spend time and enjoy your family, being around them. You know, my family, when I was a kid growing up, I've shared with you before, my mom worked and got things from yard sales, and she got things from thrift stores, and she cleaned them up and she prepared them for the family. And that may be something that we all really have to do this year, is buckle down and make it a special homemade homespun Christmas with no guilt for doing that and no guilt for receiving gifts like that. And I think that we can find ourselves being more joyful and more peaceful going into the holiday season. Okay, guys, I'm going to go in. I'm getting cold out here. Blade and the boys just made it in. And until next time, guys, this is Josie. I love you guys. I really do. Keep looking well to the ways of your household. And until next time, we're gone.